Packers lost to the Falcons 25-24. I'm not that down about the result. Like, they look good for 3 quarters. Well, they look
3 quarters.
pretty good for 3 quarters. And then just completely fell apart in the fourth. Like, the good things I saw in the first 3 quarters give me more confidence going forward than that last bad quarter makes me feel, trepidation. So, like, the good things were Jordan Love looked really good. The one thing I really like about him is his demeanor.
That's what caught my attention.
Like, again, first 3 quarters of the game, like, didn't look rattled at all. Just like every time they would cut to him, had the same look on his face. You couldn't tell if they were up 20 or down 50. Like, he just was stoic. He seems to have a pretty good command of the team. Like, it doesn't seem like, I don't know, like reading body language. Like, I can't go off much more than that. Like, it's not like I'm in the huddles, but
he got a little edge to him too when he walked off that run and got into the defenders. The defender was about to walk away from the play, and Jordan started yapping. The defender turned around like, "Wait a second, are you talking? You
better get your quarterback. Talking all that crazy."
So, like, I like that the rookies and second-year receivers look pretty good. Like, which really gives me, like, once they're fully healthy and get Watson back, like, everybody should be knocked down a peg, which would
help.
Like, they have talent in the receiver room, so like I'm encouraged by that. You saw some flashes from the tight, what's his name, Hargrave.
Musgrave.
I don't know, the rookie tight end. Like, he looks good. He's fast. Like, I like that about it. So offense looked good. The defense, again, first 3 quarters was kind of bendy but not breaky. In the fourth quarter they broke. The run defense really needs to get it together.
Carve them boys up.
He is
a talent.
Breaking. That's why he's a top 10 draft pick.
Right.
I get it. I get it.
He knows how to run, like,
the right way.
Of all the runs that he did, the most impressive one to me was it was like a stretch off the right guard. And bro he hit the hole, but it looked like everything collapsed. But he just stayed on his hip, and he ran for like a good 7 yards with like everybody literally around him. And he just kind of stayed behind them, using his blocker to go up about 7 yards. I'm like, bro, of all the runs he did outside of him snatching ankles,
he was taking ankles.
He was
breaking tackles and taking ankles.
But that run there, I was like, oh no, you know how to run. You are a running back.
And to your point with that, a lot of times you see younger running backs who they dance a lot.
Hate the left to right.
And he don't dance. He sees where he needs to go, and he'll make a move to try to, evade. But he stays within himself. He's trying to get to that first down marker, to that end zone every time. Like, they have a great running back tandem.
I was gonna say
in Atlanta,
Algier.
Yep.
Like, he's good. And then Robinson comes in and he's like, that's special. Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's like, Algier is fine. Like, he's
also a north-south runner.
Right. He gets the job done. Like, probably he's the 1,200-yard back if he was, like, the focal point. Robinson comes in and it's just, like, a whole different beast. And like,
he can
shit. You know what I mean? Like,
he can break him out. He can be a receiver. He can, like...
Bro just takes off. Like, next thing you know, he's 6 yards up the field. He's like,
I just be able to tackle him. That man's shifty.
Sorry, I forgot to mention one thing on the offensive side of the ball. Like, you can see the depth of the offensive line, which was a strength coming in. It's like, you can't just keep taking hits to it. Because eventually, like, you're subbing people out, putting people in different positions. Like, again, I'll give them a bit of a pass in that they were kind of trying to makeshift it.
And even still, they weren't even that bad.
No.
And they went in the game without Bakhtiari, and then they lost Jenkins during the game, which was like a blow because you don't really want to see Royce Newman coming in the game.
Yeah.
Newsome. But, like, he was even all right. Like, he wasn't terrible where, like, the offense collapsed on itself. But, like, of course, it would have been better if we had our real left side of the line. But that depth came through to the point where they didn't have to drastically change how they run their offense.
My disappointment came with...
That's the only one.
Like, the 2 picks
that they dropped.
And square in the chest, in the hands. Both of them.
Quay's was weird. It was like Quay, like, jumped up. And
he jumped and he ain't need to jump.
I think it surprised them.
Where the ball actually
like, the speed at which the ball was, like, it probably snuck up on them.
It was dang near the same interception he got on Fields in week
He
1.
didn't have to jump. He literally could have just put his hands up, caught that. But again, it probably snuck up on him. He was like,
That's what it looked like.
He jumped, and then it was like
At his
chin.
neck.
It was like, you probably didn't need to jump.
Alexander's?
Jair just
he just dropped that. He was looking at the end zone and just dropped it.
But both of those picks
would change the game. When you lose by 1.
Mm-hmm. I mean, shit, like that. The first drive when they got the penalty that knocked them out of field goal range.
It did not knock them out. We saw this rookie kicker. They drafted the guy because he wasn't known for his accuracy. He was known for having a big leg.
Mm-hmm.
And they drafted him. You see him in the preseason. He hit a 57-yard field goal at Lambeau. 3rd longest in Lambeau field history. You put him in a dome for a 56-yard field goal and you say, I think that's too long. Make it make sense, Matt.
But like that, yes, the defense didn't make the plays they needed to make, but like I'm pointing the finger at the coaching staff. Like LaFleur wasn't great.
Wasting timeouts again.
Boy,
couldn't get the play in on time. It's like it's simple shit that you should in your 4th year as head coach. Like that shit should be a well-oiled machine at that point. Like give me the play, get it into the huddle. Like they're breaking the huddle with like 15 seconds left. Like that can't happen.
He reminds me of Bud in some certain senses where it's kind of like, I don't think you're a bad coach. You have moments and lapses where I'm like, what were you thinking in this moment? But he really does remind me of like the football Mike Budenholzer, where it's like some of the things I was thinking about the Mike Budenholzer, Bucks former head coach. Like he reminds me of Bud. Like some of the things you do, I'm like, I just don't understand why you made this decision in this moment. But like, I don't think you're a bad coach. It's just like your lapses are just like, what were you thinking in this moment? Oh, and AJ Dillon. That's a good point to bring up, Charles. He did not look good. He doesn't look good in a year and a half at this point. And that man was slipping all over the field.
I've said it. I hate it. I said it. But he always has the Ryan Grant type run. Well, Ryan Grant looked like he's falling over himself.
I'd rather have Ryan Grant than AJ.
Ryan Grant actually stayed up. But like there were times when Ryan Grant was actually. How many times have we seen Ryan Grant actually like trip himself up? We like, bro, come on.
Not as much as AJ Dillon.
AJ Dillon though just can't stay. Like he's falling every time he get touched.
And they're different body types. So like a Ryan Grant falling more, I'm like, okay, but Dillon, we got him to be the bruising back to push through. We can't even get 3rd and 1s with you, fam. What are we doing?
It felt like literally every time somebody went to go grab him, bro, he was just like, oh, like, I'm gonna run you over. It just didn't really go nowhere. Like I've had big dreams for AJ Dillon to succeed, especially taking over for Jamal Williams, because Jamal Williams was doing his thing here. Jamal was doing his thing.
In retrospect, that's quite a 1-2 punch if he still had Jones.
He would have started now, and Jamal was cooking when he was starting. Yeah. So AJ, they was able to let him go because they felt like AJ was supposed to be, and we need that.
His first year was great. Like AJ looked great the first 2 years. And then it's like last year it was like, and then this year starting off it's like, But the just to come back to the Packers too, going to the season we talked about this being like a development year for the team, where it's like, hey, it's kind of house money. We're just trying to see what these guys might be. I thought they could sneak into a wild card spot. Atlanta was the other team where I'm like, they could probably, if not win a division, which now I'm looking at them, they probably will win that division. They could also get a wild card spot, but the Packers, I was like, I expect to get some L's like this throughout the year where it's like, this was frustrating. But I didn't expect the frustration to come from the unit that is the more established part of the team. I thought that coming to the game, if you would tell me we lost by 1 and I saw that there was no Bakhtiari, Elgin got hurt, no Watson, no Jones, I'd have been like, oh, of course they lost. Like, they still put up 24 points. That's pretty good. But, like, they probably lost because of the offense. In reality, that wasn't, 24 points is enough to win a game. But that fourth quarter, things just fell apart. The defense was getting gashed, and then at that point, the offense couldn't convert first downs. So that lead they did build up, it just withered away real quick.
Mm-hmm. As soon as we went up 24-12, I was like, oh, we got a nice little cushion.
It was almost time to start partying.
Right. All right, we're going to be all right.
And that would have been the first time in Packers history that the team started 2-0 had they won in Atlanta with 2 road games. Whenever they start the season off with 2 road games, they normally lose 1 at least. So it would have been franchise history making had they won in Atlanta.
But this is the type of loss that you can learn
Definitely.
from. Like it's not like you
Yeah.
got outplayed. You beat yourself. Like no disrespect to Atlanta.
I would say it was a good game.
Right, like they beat themselves because again, like their inability to convert a single first down in the fourth quarter, and then like not being able to get off the field on defense. Like, but a young team, they're learning. Like they'll get through it. Question for y'all, because there were different points of the game where I'm like, I think I lean one way, and then other points of the game where I lean the other way. Desmond Ridder, is he good or no?
Man, listen.
He's aggressive. Now I'm gonna call him aggressive mediocre. He's young.
I don't think he's it.
He's okay. We're still trying to see what he's going to be.
I guess like my question is like, do you think that he can be?
I don't think he's going to be great.
Or is it like Atlanta need to start looking for
Like
another quarterback?
they type of Colt McCoy.
I think that he works for their system because Atlanta is a run first team. So you just need a quarterback that can kind of manage and make the plays when he needs to. And we saw him doing that on Sunday, whether it was with his legs or he should have had 3 interceptions, but
faster Jimmy Garoppolo.
possibly.
Some of them throws, bro, I was like the picture of Brazil Douglas, I'm like, yeah, bro, you kind of lofted that out there. And then as the game going on, I'm like, a lot of your throws looking kind of...
That was his first career interception.
Yeah, I saw that. Throwing like that was the first time he got picked up. I was like, bro, I'm surprised. I'm shocked. Then we dropped 2 more.
That's right what it is. He like tricks people. It's like, oh, this is easy. It's too easy. And then you just drop
and they drop it. Because ain't no way, boy, that you only got one in like 300 plus throws and throwing like that. I got shades of old Peyton Manning, old Drew Brees.
With the Ducks?
With the Ducks, bro.
Oh,
Every time we let that bitch go, I'm like, where is it going?
Old. Yeah, I thought you was talking about.
No, bro, the way that them throws.
Yeah, I was like, wait a second.
Where you going with that? But I'm like, he did show flashes at least where I'm like, okay, I see the talent, and like I can see a little bit more refinement, but it also didn't seem like they were really giving them that much.
They don't need to.
They were kind of spoon feeding them. So I'm like, I don't know. Like I'll put a pin in it and I'll see like where it goes, but I'm at least intrigued a little bit.
Positively mid.
Shell said Riddler is possibly mid, and then Dwayne added he shows flashes. And to Eric's point, the Packers going into the game had to know it was going to be run first. So what you would have tried to do is, if you could stop the run, what you would ideally like to do is force Riddler. You wanted him to have to beat you. That's the formula to beat the Falcons. Like the run, if you can't stop the run, it's tough for you. Tough for you, but frustrating L, especially because it was a victory in hand, and you felt like you could have grabbed it. It was right there, and it slipped away, and that's the frustrating part.
Also, Arthur Smith, what the fuck were you doing? Like it worked out, but some of those decisions he was making. Well, the fourth down one where I'm like, there's limited upside here. Like I get it, it worked out, it was fine, but you wound up kicking a field goal anyway. So it's like
waste of time though.
It did. That's what I'm saying. Like it worked out. So results over process, but it's bad process because it's like
more teams are going for it now. That's the new. I know it's
not really going for it. The risk reward, like I'm one of the people where it's like, yeah, always go, like first 3 quarters, hell yeah, just go for it on 4th down. Like you get it back, whatever. Like I don't like the field position game so early in the game, but like at that point, it's like. If you don't get this,
the game is
you're
over.
Probably lose, like almost guaranteed L.
I was like, ooh, get a stop. And then here comes Bijan. I'm like, oh, nope. Ain't no.
And like maybe that's what it is. You have so much confidence in your rookie running back.
Oh, this fly bold. I ain't never seen this fly. Look.
That nigga disrespectful. But one thing that does it irritate you that the announcers every time Jordan Love throws the ball, that looks like Aaron Rodgers. Yeah,
that's going to get old.
Aaron, I was like, fam, like I literally stopped watching the game because I was like, fam, every throw, folks, like,
they gonna freeze frame the angle of his arm.
Man, yeah, I'm like, come on,
he leaning a little bit. There go Aaron right there.
No, I was like,
and I was watching. I'm like, okay, yeah, it do look like it, but like it's not like.
Let this man be.
Look
him.
at his footwork. Oh my god.
Let him be.
Aaron Rodgers taught him everything he knows. Like,
yeah, it's like, bro.
That guy Aaron was great.
I was like, man, I'm turning this off. This is irritating.
Special guy.
To
keep
hearing about somebody that's not even
real
playing.
Special guy.
He's not even playing.
He bestowed his blessing on him. Text the young man.
That's gonna be the narrative all. That's gonna be all season. It's the same thing that happened when Rodgers. We heard a lot of Favre stuff. Favre.
They used to get mad that Aaron used to hold the ball because Favre used to swing that motherfucker. He holding the ball too damn low. He throwing picks. He holding the ball too long.
And there are still some Packer fans to this day who say they still prefer Favre over Rodgers for that reason. Because Favre would take the chance and give his guys an opportunity to make them on the ball, whether or not the outcome was an interception or a pitch.
That was hard to tackle when it happened with Favre.
Hey, different folks like different strokes. So
yeah, like you can struggle. People like airing it out.
Yeah, Tim like that game was 9-6. What a great game!
Sometimes I need a little bit of fire.
A little fire, I feel it.